Hey, Plexus Freedom Team, welcome to 2020, okay? If you are not prepared for your socks to be blown off this year, then honey, you on the wrong call, okay? On the wrong call, because I'm here to bring it. Listen, 2020, it is going to be the year of perfect vision, right? Figuring out what it is you're supposed to be doing and then executing the plan. The idea of 2020 is that you have the vision for where it is you want to go, but you don't stop there because that would make you a daydreamer, right? You have to formulate a plan so that you can execute the plan to achieve the vision, okay? You got me? You have to have a plan. And you guys, if you would like to build a career or a business in network marketing, your plan very likely needs to start with recruiting, okay? We are not in the go get them business. We're not hunters, right? Trying to go find the next one. Like, I got to get them. No, that's kind of how like predators think. We're not a predator. But what we are is a solution finder and a solution giver. But it starts with recruiting. You cannot develop who you do not recruit. You cannot duplicate what you do not recruit, and you cannot lead what you do not recruit. So, friends, buckle up. Anybody can become a top recruiter. Anybody can. I definitely did not think I would be a top recruiter. As a matter of fact, I can recall a conversation when Brittany and I, we connected in the very beginning, and here I am with all these big visions. And she's like, okay, great. How much time can you commit to your business every day? And I said, as little as possible. Like, wait, no, like a little bit, like a little bit. And lo and behold, I had my little bit of time, and it eventually, I learned some skills, and here we are. So for those of you that are not super familiar with me, my name's Christina. I am an Emerald Ambassador, and I have been working my Plexus business for 10 days shy of 4 years. So I enrolled as a wholesale ambassador on January 16th of 2016. And here we are on January 6th of 2020. So 4 years in, and y'all, listen, I just will not hear your BS excuse of there's no one to join me. That's just not true. If 4 years in, there are still people to join me, I'm here to tell you there's people that need what you have if you're willing to talk to them, if you're willing to follow up with them, if you're willing to do the action necessary to achieve the vision. So if you're already playing in your head all the reasons why whatever I might have to say doesn't apply to you, oh, I'm an introvert, which I am not an introvert, for the record. But maybe you're saying, well, of course this applies to her. She's not an introvert. Bull. I don't have a large network. Neither do I. Y'all, when I started, I taught 10-year-olds all day. I didn't have a network of anyone who was like old enough to clean themselves well. Like, bull, okay? And now I stay home with all of my kids who don't clean themselves well either. So, I mean, that's where we are. So bull, I call bull. Or you're saying I'm not a salesperson. Honey, me either. I cannot, y'all, I go to buy a car on a Sunday when the car lot is closed. Like, go find what I want because I cannot stand being sold to. And then I'll just make a full price offer because I don't want to have to haggle either. So whatever you're playing in your brain, it's one of two scripts, I can guarantee. You're either saying, this is all great for her, but I'll never be a top recruiter. Or you're saying, oh my gosh, there's so much I could learn from her. Let me really tune in. So there'll be two batches of you tonight, and one batch of you will sit over there and feel self-righteous and leave the call not able to recruit any better than when you joined. Or you'll leave the call going, oh my gosh, okay, I'm on the right track. Here are some things that I can tweak, and here are some things that I can do better. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen because I tried to make this very organized for you. All right, so I have to move y'all's picture though over there. Okay, so I called this the journey of recruiting because there's lots of myths involved with how to be a successful recruiter, and we're going to kind of walk that journey. So why and how anyone, I believe, can become a successful recruiter. For the record, I don't think that you have to be a top recruiter. I don't think that you have to bring in numbers like I bring in all the time. I don't think that that's a requirement. Some of the most successful people that I know in this business aren't necessarily a top recruiter, but they are consistent recruiters. So it's not okay to say, well, I'll never be a top recruiter, so I just won't focus on that. You can't teach what you don't know. And if you can't recruit, you can't teach someone else how to recruit either. Okay? So we are going to figure out how to get that off the screen. All right, so how and why anyone can be a successful recruiter. Myths of recruiting. Basically, you guys, these are the lies and excuses that you'll tell yourself if you feel like you're struggling in the area of recruiting. Now, newsflash, even top recruiters struggle sometimes. So these myths, these lies, these excuses, I felt them. Because you know what's really hard after a month of being a top recruiter? The next month, right? Because you just brought in record numbers. Last month I had 9 joins. Well, guess what happened on January 1st? I went back to 0 for the month. Okay, so I have been there. Like, I have to look this whole idea of figuring out how to recruit over and over again in the face, just like you do. So here we go. Let me move y'all again. I don't know why. I don't know what y'all can see, but I have to move y'all out of the way. So myth number, and we're going to break down these myths, but basically tonight I'm going to talk about myth number 1. Recruiting must just come easy for some people. Myth number 2, once I recruit someone, my job's over. Myth number 3, top recruiters must be pushy. Number 4, in order to recruit, I must be an extrovert with a huge network. Number 5, I can't recruit anybody because nobody I know is interested. And then myth number 6 is that recruiting is the most important part of this business. For some of you, you like to recruit and you're like, man, wait a minute, I thought that was the most important part. Or for some of you that are like, oh, I'm terrible at recruiting, that just gave you hope. Like, okay, well, if it's not the most important part, what is? We're going to get there. So myth number 1, recruiting does not just come easy for some people. However, top recruiters do a few things differently than others. Number 1, they take action. Before they know everything, they're willing to just simply open their mouth and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. There's this thing called Plexus. Don't know if it's for you or not because I don't even know what it is myself, but I'm excited about it and I would love to plug you in with someone who can help. Are you open? They take action. People who want to recruit take action. Top recruiters craft a message that will yield at least a 10% response rate. That means if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to send out a message to 10 people, I'm hoping 1 person responds. Now, some of y'all just had a little stroke over there. You're like, oh, if I send out 10 messages, if I don't get 8 responses, I think I've done wrong. No, an average response rate ideally would be 10 to 20%. Now, newsflash, if you're only sending out 3 messages, you might have to message 3 all week to get 1 conversation. A top recruiter's just not willing to do that. Okay, when a message doesn't elicit a good response rate, they change the message. They try something else. They watch a training video. They ask for perspective. They just try something else. Okay, and then they use that message enough times to be able to judge its effectiveness. Okay, top recruiters understand that a warm market response, that rate will be higher than a cold market response. Warm market being anybody that you have actual real life rapport with. It could be your mail lady, that's warm market. It could be the lady at the Circle K where you buy your coffee, warm market. Warm market is just anyone who knows you in any kind of position or style in real life. Cold market is anyone who don't know you from Adam. Like, you literally are going to talk to someone that you've never spoken to before and they don't have you in any context ever. The response rate will be different and you need to vary and judge your effectiveness that way. And you need to understand that your response rate, especially in cold market, will rely hugely on the way that you're branding yourself on social media. Now, this is not a branding call, but if your response rate, it's very likely that however you're portraying yourself on social media, either A, is pointing towards the fact that you're very warm and likable. It's good to be likable, but you have to pair that with also coming across as competent. Okay, so being warm and likable is important, but if you want someone to want to follow you, then you need to also be coming across as competent on social media, meaning you can't just post graphics of rainbows and unicorns to encourage people all day, every day. You have to teach somebody something, or you at least have to feel passionately about someone or something so that they go, she's got some substance. Now, will you probably exclude some people? Sure. Listen, I'm very pro-military and very pro-law enforcement. If someone is not happy with my stance on that, you know what I don't want on my team? A cop hater. So I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it. Okay? So you just have to talk to your audience, because you have to come across as competent if you want them to engage with you either as a health coach or as a business leader. People can like you all day long, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they will trust you to lead them. So go engage your Facebook. Am I just warm? Am I just competent? Or am I both? Because you need to be both. Okay, top recruiters, they're both. They're warm and likable, but they're also competent and passionate. Top recruiters, myth number 2, once I recruit someone, my job is over. Wrong. Recruiting someone means your job has just begun. You cannot consider yourself as having recruited someone until you help them get results on their product. They have to love their product, or you have not done your job. Okay? It is your absolute responsibility. Why can't y'all see this? Uh-oh. It is your responsibility to help your person find results. That means it's on you to go find testimonies that they can relate with. It's on you to plug them into events like the one we're having tomorrow night. You know, a lot of you spent time today inviting prospects to the event that's online tomorrow. How many of you invited your current and former team members to tune in? That is how you build belief in the products. Even when someone's already jumped in on the journey, you still have to build their belief in the products. You still have to build their excitement. It exposes them to community. Do that. People think top recruiters think that recruiting is it. You guys, listen, if you don't help people love their products, you will never grow your business. If I recruit 9 people this month and lose all 9 of them next month, guess what I've earned myself? Nothing. Nothing. So retaining is as important as recruiting. Y'all, I have literally told people on my team, if you don't plan to take care of your people, don't bother taking their money. They're making an investment into their health with you as their guide. They're trusting you. And if you ain't going to take care of them, don't take their money. Because you know what that does? That leaves them with a bad taste in their mouth, thinking, oh, Plexus doesn't work after 12 days. And so then you know what? They go tell their friend, Plexus didn't work for me. And then before you know it, we have negative word of mouth spread. We don't want that. Take care of your people. Okay, myth number 3, top recruiters must be pushy and spammy. Wrong. Y'all, I know some very not top recruiters who are pushy and spammy. So there are ways to do what we do in a way that's not either. Okay. Top recruiters realize it is not about them, so they tend to have a higher no tolerance. So I'm not pushy or spammy, but I recognize that if someone is not open to what I have to say, it's not a personal reflection of me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't drag me down. I always go back to the coffee and the waitress in the restaurant. If we're out to dinner and you and I have had a great meal, couple cocktails, whatever, and she comes around and she has a pot of coffee, Brittany is going to say yes to coffee every time. I'm going to say no to coffee every time. And that waitress isn't going to go to the back of the restaurant and cry because I didn't want her coffee. She recognizes I just didn't want coffee. But if she's smart, she's going to let us sit there and gab for another hour, let our food settle, and then she's going to come back around and say, hey, are you sure you didn't want a cup of coffee? And by then, my food is settled. Maybe Brittany continues to ask a bunch of questions. And so I'll say, yeah, I'd love a cup of coffee at this point. So she just followed back up. She just retouched the situation. She knew that the circumstance might change. Voila, I wanted her coffee. Top recruiters have learned how to effectively follow up. Now, I did not put a bunch of scripts in this call tonight, but let me tell you how you don't follow up. Everybody write this down. Hey, Nancy, happy Monday. Ready to get started with Plexus? It's not super effective. If Nancy were ready for Plexus, she would have messaged you this morning. Figure out, and y'all listen, there's a million follow-up videos. If you go to Freedom Team and search follow-up, you will find them. I've made a bunch of them. But I mean, you can follow up by inviting to an event, inviting to the challenge, telling about a sale, sending a testimony. There are lots of ways to follow up, and top recruiters know them like the back of their hand. They vary them, and they also vary the amount of time between them. Top recruiters are very rarely going to drop the ball on the follow-up because they recognize that if they don't follow up, someone else is gonna. So effectively follow up. Top recruiters understand that sample messages and templates do not take the place of personalizing and connecting with your prospect. When someone sends you a message template or someone sends you a sample message that's working well for them, it is not the universal sign for copy and mass email or mass message. It is, hey, this is a good idea. Structure this to sound like you. Let me give you an example. Emily Haas, right? She's like the fashion guru. She tells me what to wear to convention. Her and Brittany and Michelle, we have this little chat thing. They're like, oh, that's terrible. Don't wear that. But Emily will send me a picture of an outfit, and I can 100% picture her in it. I have to take that same outfit and like maybe I have to tuck something in, or maybe I have to layer it differently, or maybe I ain't wearing those shoes that she said to wear because let's be for real, it's me. So I'll have to change it. The idea is the same. The outfit, the staples are there, but I changed it. Same thing with your message templates. Y'all, if it were easy and everybody could just copy and paste, we would all be diamonds. So you've got to talk to your audience. Top recruiters see themselves as a problem solver instead of a product seller. Y'all, I'm here to solve your problem. What's your problem? You bloated? Oh man, I got you. Hey, you have no energy? Oh my gosh, listen, I think you need to take a look at what I have. Like, oh my gosh, you were stressed about buying Christmas this year? I'm so sorry for you. Could I share with you what I have done so that now I have Christmas budgeted all year long? Like, can I help you with that? You are a problem solver. You are not a product seller, which again means if someone's not willing to solve their problem, it's not on you, it's on them. Here we go. Oh, I gotta move y'all again. It's real annoying. Myth number 4, in order to recruit, I must be an extrovert with a huge network. People on the receiving end of a message, you guys, they don't know your personality. How you brand yourself is totally up to you. Abby Kappa, for instance. You guys, if she did not tell you so often that she was a huge introvert, you would probably assume she was an extrovert because she's built up her brand. She's competent, she's warm, she's friendly. I mean, she's all these things, but really she's a severe introvert. But your brand doesn't know that. Your brand doesn't know your personality type. So brand yourself how you want to be received. Top recruiters tend to do more activity than others. That's just the bottom line. Okay, so it's not that we have a huge network, but maybe we just add more friends than everyone else. Maybe we're not a huge extrovert. Maybe we just force ourselves to have more conversations than other people. Think about a major league athlete and a college athlete. It's very likely that the major league athletes are training harder than the college athletes. Okay, so it's not necessarily that they are better or have more. They probably just do more. Top recruiters understand that when they stop growing their network, regardless of their starting network size, they have corked their business. When you stop adding friends on Facebook, your business has stopped growing. You might have some joins trickle in, but if you've stopped adding people to your funnel, to your network, your business will stop growing. So saying I don't have a large enough network, not an excuse. There are billions of people that are right there on the internet for you to connect with. Grow your network. Right? If you don't want to succumb to the rumors of network marketing, don't let the rumors be true. Just don't let them be true. Myth number 5, I can't recruit nobody because nobody I know is interested. Y'all, you know what a top recruiter can't stand to hear? This excuse. It's just flat out not true. I keep looking to the side because that's where y'all's pictures are. Sorry. Top recruiters learn how to build the value of the products that they are sharing. Think about it like this. If your next door neighbor had a shed that was smoking, and you're like, hey, I have a fire extinguisher. Like, you want me to go get it? And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. I'll put it out with a water hose. Okay. They're not interested in your, whatever that thing is called, a fire extinguisher. You know where there's smoke, there's fire. And you can see that he's not really getting it under control with that water hose. It's very unlikely, unless you're just a terrible person, that you're going to take your fire extinguisher and go inside. You're going to probably say, hey, mister, like, I know you were interested, but let me just let you know, like, this fire extinguisher will put out that fire. Like, I've done it before. Like, I had a fire too, and it worked. And so let me, use my fire extinguisher to extinguish this fire. You're building the value of what you have to offer. And eventually he is going to say, oh my gosh, the fire's out of control. Let me add that extinguisher. Like, he is going to be ready for what you have to offer if you've made it valuable enough. Guys, when someone says so-and-so, they're not interested in the products. No one I know is interested. You know what it means to me? You don't know how to grow the value of the product. You lack belief in what the products can do for someone. Here's how I know that. If you believed that the products could set them free from autoimmune issues or migraines or debilitating inflammation that kept them from playing on the floor with their kids, or, I mean, anything, and I'm talking major illnesses, dare I say the C word, I mean major. If you believed that Plexus could help them, you just wouldn't take their little brush off, like, oh, I'm not interested, I've tried that before. You wouldn't take that to heart. You would be like, hey, listen, that's awesome that you've tried it before. Do you mind if I share with you how some things are different? Like, you would be persistent. If you believed that you were carrying around the cure for A, B, and C, you would be persistent that they take a look. Top recruiters recognize that belief in the products is critical in overcoming the objection, so they learn. They grow their belief. They don't wait for the belief to come. That don't make no sense. The belief ain't going to come. You have to go get it. Go grow your belief in the products. Read some testimonies. Watch some videos. Read, research. If you knew what poor gut health was going to lead someone to, you would be much more persistent that they take a look. Top recruiters, don't stop when someone is not interested. And I'm going to talk about some numbers in a few minutes that will probably shock you. But if nobody you know is interested in feeling better and living longer, go find more people to know. Because here's the thing, if you don't go find more people to know, you're going to eventually be all alone because they're not paying attention to their health, which means they ain't going to be around for a long time. Go find other people to know. You just have to know that when someone knows what you know, they'll make the same decision that you made. There was something that you learned that was the tipping point for you to join, and you need to figure out what their tipping point will be. And you can't find that tipping point if you disengage from the conversation. If you write it off and say, oh, she's not interested. Top recruiters don't limit themselves on who they will share with. Listen, there's no shame in my game when it comes to who I will and will not recruit. I might not develop every person that I recruit, but everybody I know needs these products. So listen, I don't care if they make $3 million a year. I'm not even kidding. Brittany can attest to this. I have talked to and tried to prospect this woman I know for probably 3 years. I really want her to do this business with me because she's wildly successful. Y'all, she screenshotted us her bank account and it was like $8.7 million. So that was her way of saying, I don't really need your business. I do not care, because here's what I know. Wealthy people understand the need for multiple streams of income, and I have something that she needs. And so she's eventually going to join me, just so you know. But I don't care. I do not care that she is super successful and super wealthy. Do not care. Because I'm not going to limit myself. Myth number 6, recruiting is the most important. Now I need everybody to pay attention right here. It is not the most important part of being a Plexus girl. It is the starting point for being a Plexus girl or guy. I don't know if there's guys on here, but shout out to you if you are. You have to recruit so that you have something to build, okay? And I just said this earlier, some of the most successful people within Plexus are not top recruiters. Does not indicate whether or not you will be successful. As a matter of fact, dare I say, I know some people who are extremely high top recruiters and can't grow their organization because they don't do what we're about to talk about. Teaching someone to recruit will add people to their team. Teaching someone to duplicate will explode their team. Okay? Success does begin with your ability to learn and teach others to recruit, but maintaining and growing exponentially rides on your ability to retain, duplicate, and lead those whom you are recruiting. You cannot do either of those other three pillars, retain, duplicate, or lead, without first recruiting. But recruiting is not the most important. The top teams in Plexus are comprised on recruiters who have learned that a minimum of a 10% silver development rate is crucial. Meaning, if you have 10 people on your team in your organization, at least one of them needs to be silver. At least one of them, 1 out of 10, ideally 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10 need to be silver. You'll have a few others that are working towards it, but you need someone 1 out of 10 going silver in their first 30 days. And the idea is that they also will have 1 out of 10 going silver. And so it's the power of 3. If you've never watched the Sheila Medina video, go watch Power of 3 tonight. It's in Freedom Team. She's amazing. It's the power of 3. That, I believe, is the most important thing, because here's the thing. If you have someone that is starting to share Plexus, your retention issue is avoided. Someone who's sharing the products are going to be consistent on the products. That's how you retain someone. You get them sharing. You get them sharing. Well, when they're sharing, then they're duplicating. And once you have some duplication happening, now it's time to lead. Okay. So, how did I recruit 9 people during the slowest month of the year, December? It's the slowest month of the year. Nobody wants to spend money. It's Christmas. People are saving. I can't get anybody to commit. Guys, how did I recruit 9 people during December 4 years into my business? Okay, number 1, I did not accept the belief that it had to be slow. I didn't sit around in November and say, I'll just let up on IPA because December's going to stink. Heck no. I increased my activity going into December. Number 2, I just said that. I increased my activity to account for the slow season. I did more in October and November with the idea that I would have more people further along in the process so that when December came, I would be able to help close the deal. I had built the value enough that when they had to decide between an investment in their health or another wasted Christmas toy, they made the right decision. Number 3, I varied my levels and ways of follow-up. I followed up just about in any way that you can imagine. I did some rapport building. I asked what their plans were for the holidays. I invited them to that event, the Money Mary or Mary Money event. I talked about the challenge. I told them about the sale. I mean, that's multiple follow-ups right there, just using what corporate gave us. So I varied my follow-up. Number 4, y'all, I empathized with the fact that I was asking them to make an investment in themselves during a time of year when spending money on others is the focus. I cast the vision that they were making an investment and a gift of themselves to their family. Like, listen, your family will thank you when you're not such a crabby mommy monster. I let them know this was an investment and their family would reap the reward. Y'all, I handle their objections. I see so many people, they get handed that objection in a 3-way chat or even on a phone call, and they just say, oh, I understand. Okay, yep, nope, listen, that's fine. You want to wait for your results? I totally get that. Yo, I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get that they got to wait till tax return before they decide to take care of their health. What kind of malarkey is that? I just don't get it. I handle the objection. To me, when someone shares an objection, they're saying, what you're saying sounds really good, but here's my fear. Here's what I'm concerned about. Here's what I need you to address in further detail. And so I just go right into that invitation. Well, listen, glad that you brought that up. Here's how I feel about that. And I offer perspective, but I definitely don't shy away or back down from an objection. I see it as an opportunity to enlighten them. Because I know when they know what I know, they will make the same decision that I made. You know how I know it? Because 9 of them did it. And 4 of them have done it this month. So I just don't back down. I handle their objection in a very loving way. And number 6, this is the kicker. I followed up one more time than most people would have. When most people would have said they're probably not interested. Like, I already invited them to the Mary Money thing, and then I already told them about the challenge, and I sent a message about the sale. They're just not ready. You know what I did? I just followed up one more time than most people would have. It's always a timing issue. It is always a timing issue. What time is it? Oh, we're doing good. We got time. Okay. All right. But I didn't stop there. Okay. I am so incredibly desperate for my business to launch like diamond status that I just decided I wasn't going to have any fear. I was not going to say no to any of it, even if it scared me to death. So out of my 9 joins, no, excuse me, I have gotten on the phone with 9 out of my 13 joins combined. So if you take December and this month, I have 13 joins so far. Out of them, I have been on the phone with 9 of them. For those of you who know me, you know that's growth, okay? I need to connect. I know that I have to focus on building rapport and building relationship to retain and to inspire them to action. Yes, even though I'm busy and I don't love talking on the phone. I hate not being a diamond more than that. So I did it. I have 6 new people working towards silver. Several of them I've gotten on the phone with Brittany. So she helped me build inspiration, build belief. I've met them at their pace. Some did a first post right away. Some haven't posted yet, but they're sharing privately. Others messaged their mom or their sister, and I just helped and guided in that way. I have talked to 100% of my joins from the last 3 months about the business. 100% of them. And you know how I know? Because I went down the list yesterday when I was making this PowerPoint to make sure. 100% of them I have mentioned the business to at least one time, several of them more than one. And I will not stop sharing and planting seeds, y'all. I have somebody who is trying to stop her products that I am still like, listen, here's why you can't stop your products, because I know this business is going to change your family's lives, and you got to be a product of your products. And so, I mean, she don't know that the business is going to change her life yet, but I do. 100% I do. And here's what I know. As much as the products have helped me, this business has changed my whole family's life. And so I just have to share that. I just am not going to not share that with people. I got to move y'all again. Sorry. Okay. Out of those joins, I've helped 3 of my last silvers all find a worker underneath them. This is really important. Helping your sharers, your workers, find a worker. There is nothing more exciting than getting that first, you've got money on your level 2. Like they got paid on something they didn't even do. So it's your job. Help them. Help them. You know how you help them? You get on the phone with every one of their joins. You cast a vision. Not sure what to say? Luckily, our fearless leader made a video about what to say on a 3-way call about the business. Go and watch that video and memorize it. Write it down. Have a script. Whatever you have to do until it becomes natural. Get on the phone and cast a vision for your people, to their people. Help them find a worker. And it's probably hands down one of the best things you're going to do for long-term business. This keeps them excited and working. I ask all of my girls to let me talk to any of their new joins. And you guys, I hold them accountable to it. I'll say, hey, listen, I saw that you got a join Tuesday. Haven't heard about a call yet. When are we getting on the phone? Because this is my business. And listen, they knew that when they joined me. And so I expect that they're going to do what is required to keep it going. And yes, I do that. I get on the phone with them and their joins and me and my joins, even though I'm busy and even though I don't love talking on the phone. I hate not being a diamond more than I don't like that. So I do it. And I'm learning to love it. Listen, y'all, I don't mean to brag, but I am crushing these 3-way calls lately. Like my girls are like, that was the best call you've ever done. I'm like, I know, let's do it again. Like you just have to do it more and more and it eventually becomes much less prickly, right? Okay. I got out of my own way. I decided that I was done making decisions for people. I was done saying she wouldn't want the business. Oh no, she's made fun of people before on Facebook. She probably wouldn't do this. Or she has $8.7 million in her account. She probably doesn't want the business. Like I'm just decided I was done making decisions for people. It is not up to me to decide who needs an opportunity. I present it to them clearly, concisely, and passionately, and then I let them decide. But then I follow up. It doesn't end after the phone call where they still say, well, yeah, if I love it, then I'll share. It doesn't stop there. I keep building the belief. I find a video that will connect with them and I'll say, hey, listen, check this out. As a matter of fact, out of the 6 girls that I have working towards silver, 2 of them have been on my team longer than 6 months and are just now ready to start sharing. So if I had stopped casting vision about the business 5 months ago, they wouldn't be coming here now saying, girl, I'm ready. Like, I think this could be the year that this changes everything for me. You follow up, and you follow up one more time than most people would. Okay, so let's talk about numbers. Some of you guys want to know numbers, and I was really hesitant to even bring up numbers, but give the people what they want. So on average in December, I sent 150 messages a week. Now, gasp, take it in. You know what I don't like more than sending all those messages? Not being a diamond. So I just did it. And yes, I had Christmas. Yes, I had to go out of town. Yes, I have a million kids. Yes, there was New Year's. Yes to all of that. And if you follow me on Facebook, we didn't miss a ding dong thing. We did all the things. I just sacrificed in other areas. If I wanted to take my kids to Snow Mountain, I got up an hour and a half early that day. Or I made my husband drive and I did my IPA in the car. If I needed to go skeet shooting in Savannah and see my friends, you know what we did? We figured it out. I just said there was going to be no excuses. Let's see. If you guys, I'm sure you guys can math well, but 100 messages a week is much more than 2 new and 1 follow-up. So, I mean, 2 new and 1 follow-up will get you some recruits, but it will not get you being a top recruiter. So you just have to decide. This is my plan. It's not yours. Doesn't have to be. I am solely in my cold market after 4 years. So I have to do more messages than those of you that are still within your first year of doing this. So don't expect, like, don't look at my chapter 22 and be like, oh my gosh, I could never do 100 messages. You don't have to. You do not have to. And there are ways that I could recruit without having to do the massive amounts of messages that I do. It's just the style I prefer. I would much rather be direct and to the point and kind of weed through until I have someone to have a meaningful conversation with. Probably not everyone's style. I already told you the fortunes in the follow-up. I used events, 60-day challenge, corporate sell. I did in-person events. Hello, when's the last time you did an in-person event? If you're complaining about not recruiting and you're not putting yourself out there, hush it. Go sit at a coffee house and hope someone shows up. Invite some people. When they don't show up, have a team training. If you have one person that lives within 2 hours of you, you have enough people to do an event. If you're the only person in your area, then it's wide open. Have at it, sister. Show up. Have an in-person event. I did it. Testimonies. I used before and after pictures. I put their words back in their mouth when I could. Like, hey, listen, remember when you said this was what you were working towards? Well, here's how what I have, 60-day challenge or whatever, would fit that. Want me to send you some info? Okay, so I'm just going to give you, I picked like 7 of my new joins. I'm going to tell you when I first reached out to them and kind of give you an idea of how it all went down. So we will start with join T. I won't call them by name. My first message to her was on July 2nd of 2016. We had conversation back and forth. Within the conversation, I was ignored 18 times. I invited her to 2 events that she did not come to. I finally reached out about the Black Friday sale. She was open. And so the conversation continued through the rest of the month of December, and she eventually joined. Join E, April 25th, 2016, almost 4 years ago. Same kind of thing, ignored in the beginning, had some conversation. She was open, all of a sudden wasn't. Hubby had some objections, same thing. Just through the process, through the years, followed up. You know what else got better through the years, you guys? My branding. She began to know who I was. She could trust me. She knew I was competent, and she knew I wasn't going anywhere. You guys, listen, we are all born with a little bit of real life skepticism. So if you are new to this and you feel like they're just watching and waiting, they are. So you know how you avoid being a statistic in network marketing? You avoid being a statistic. You just don't quit. You just let them see this is the long-term thing. This is what you're doing. This is plan A, B, and C. You're doing this. Kay, I reached out to her September the 5th. She literally said, I've used it before. I'm not interested in what you have to say. Could have said, oh, I understand. Thanks for getting back to me. If you know anybody, send them my way. First of all, anyway, I did not say that. I literally said, oh my gosh, tell me what you used the products for, how long ago, what were you hoping it was going to help with? She had a whole slew of problems. I quickly diagnosed why she didn't find success before, began to educate her on why things were different and perhaps why she should give it another shot. Here she is. She came to the event that we did. She joined right after. S, on December the 31st, she's one of my joins from this month, she responded to one of my goofy videos in the gym, like on my stories about Booty Sprout. She messaged me about Booty Sprout. We talked about working out. That's called building rapport. A few days later, she's like, tell me about this Plexus stuff. That's just straight from branding. I had not even reached out to her. She messaged me on December 31st. M, I reached out to her on February 17th of 2018, so almost a year ago. She went to my website and ordered as a customer, probably a month after that, completely ignored me about how it was going on her products, never heard from her again, 18 ignores until December when she decided to jump back in. So the whole point of me sharing that is to just not to tell you that good luck, see you in 4 years when these people want to join you, because I've had lots of joins between then and now. Like it's not a rarity that I figure out how to recruit every month. I just want you to know that people will eventually join you. If you are consistent in follow-up, if you are consistent with branding yourself, they will eventually join you. It is up to you to show up, to follow up, and to grow yourself so that when they do join you, you know what in the heck to do with them. Because that's when the real job starts. Recruiting is a simple set of skills you can learn. Practice them over and over again until you get good at them. And good is it's gonna vary. Some people, a good month is one new join. Some people, girl, y'all, there are people over there, not with me, not on my team, not me, that are recruiting 30 people a month. If that is what I compared myself to, I would never be a top recruiter. But I have a personal standard. So figure out what it looks like to you to be a good recruiter. I'll give you a starting point. Recruit one more this month than you did last month. One more than you did last month. If you did 0 last month, you're in luck. Go find one person this month. And we already went through the myths, so rewatch the video. If you recruited 6 last month, go get you 7. Just find what's good for you and then go be good. And do it with a heart of excellence. Do it coming from a place of love and service of how you can be a problem solver instead of a product peddler, because don't nobody like that. So that is what I have to say. I hope that makes sense. And I will see y'all later. I'm going to stop the recording.